But anyways, yeah, market stats. Now we can look under the external links of Matrix on our homepage, and we can look at statistical data. So I'm just going to click that. And by default, it's going to show for all Bonita Springs and Estero, all data for Bonita Springs and Estero. Not just agents who get their MLS through us, but all listings that are sold in Bonita Estero proper. If it falls under that geocode, then that data is in here. All right. So this is just median sales. And by default, it'll show you 3 years worth of data. So if we look at January 2018, median sales price in all Bonita Springs and Estero was $285. January 19, $291. January 2020, $310. Oh, and they have updated the data. We're now for median sales price for everything in Bonita Estero is now $355. You can change the look at this. Heck, you can even change how it looks. I'm going to go back max. We can even go back to January 2008. So we're getting pretty close to back where Bonita Springs and Estero's median sales price was what it was in 2008. We can make it look a little bit different instead of the lines. We can smooth the curves on this. So it's not so herky-jerky. You can change it to a bar graph, which will only show the last 3 years, but it will be the last 3 years month. So it'll only compare January 19 to 20 to 21. So we can manipulate this data and show things. All right, well, that's all fine and dandy, but what can I do with that? Well, we can actually get it out to your client. So let's change our data up just a little bit. So I'm going to go up here to where it says Bonita Springs and Estero. Click the little down arrow. And I'm going to pick just a development. Start typing Pelican. I'll grab Pelican Landing. But what does everybody want to compare Pelican Landing to? They like to compare it to Bonita Bay. So I'm going to click on Add a New Area. By default, it'll show Bonita Estero. So I click the down arrow. Come down to Development. Select it. And now I've got a graph showing me what's going on comparing Pelican Landing to Bonita Bay. Higher price point in Bonita Bay. No doubt about it. I can change it to only look at single family homes. All right. So we can see what's going on in these particular areas. Well, I can add up to 4 different distinct areas or geocodes, developments, or even cities, or zip codes. All right. So how can I share or do something with this? Well, we can actually click on share right here. And I like to make it live, because if we send it out or create it, it will not update when February's data comes out and automatically show you what February's data looks like. So I like to click it live. As you notice, you can do all kinds of things with this now. I'm going to share it. Now I'm going to click on what it looks like. So when you send that link that I'm going to show you in just a second out, it's an interactive graph. So it will give you the data. All right, it will brand to you. It will have Bonita Springs-Estero Realtors up here. Let's say they click on, let's close that. If you highlight this link, copy it, put it into an email, it will not notify them, but in a month from now, when the February data has been added, it will automatically update the data from January to show February over the last 3 years. So I'm going to change this to a line, do 5 years. We'll do a rolling 3 month to make it a little easier. Same thing. I share it. I'll just copy it here. And this is what it's going to look like. And it'll be interactive, so they can move their mouse over it and see when they think is the best time to list their property in Bonita Bay or Pelican Landing. Or for that matter, when to buy. Looks like we've had a little bit of a drop off in Bonita Bay over the last month. Only because there's nothing to buy. All right. So how can you use that? You can send it out in emails. You can put it on your, as you saw, all the different social media that you can attach it to. Paste it out there, make it public. It's perfectly fine. And you can create as many of these as you like, as long as you save that link and that URL. You can create, like I said, as many as you would want. You can put it as you could create it as a button on your website. Click here to see history of Bonita Bay. Click here. Now, it will be interactive for them to roll their mouse over. However, they cannot go in and change what they're looking for under here. So they tell you they want to look at the history of Bonita Bay, and then they want to look at the history of Imperial Harbor. You would have to create a new one for them for this. Because they don't, it's not a search capability for your clients, it's only a search capability for you. All right. So that's how you can use some of the data in here. And again, like I said, you could add up to 4. But one of the really cool things is you can have you can have pre-created reports that give you a market overview out of this program. And how we do that is we come up to the upper right-hand corner and we can click on Fast Stats. Now, these reports have not been updated yet. The data is in, but they're analyzing and they will be pasting it in shortly, probably by tomorrow. But we can go in and let's say we wanted to look at Bonita Springs-Estero. This will give us a breakdown. As we saw, it was December 2020. Yep, it's an Internet Explorer issue. All right, sorry about that, guys, but I wanted to show you the kind of reports and things you could get. This is a concise report on what's going on in Bonita Springs and Estero. You can blow this up so you can see it better. Since this is a PDF, you can download it or you can print it out and give it out to your clients. So it gives you an overall market review of what's going on. All right, so I'm going to exit out of that one and show you like the monthly indicators. And you'll notice this one's a little bit more data in it. We use this data when we're using our media reports and reporting to media out there about what's going on. Tons of data. You can print this out or you can just save it and email it to your client. Again, so that's not a problem. We can see days on market, median sales price, we can see all kinds of things. And even housing overview. I think this is like a 7-page report. Monthly data sheet, which will break down what's going on in the individual for all of Bonita Springs and Estero. You'll even see Collier County and Lee County on here, and then it'll break down all our geocodes. Again, you can print this out, email it, post it to your website. We can also look at the showing time report, number of showings, things like that. And you can do, which just came out last month, or excuse me, in January, an annual report on Bonita Springs and Estero. So it pulls all the data for the entire year, not just month over month. And by all means, use this data. It's yours. So yes, definitely use it. Okay, so let's see. We'll leave that one up in case anybody has any questions. I want to share back. Come on. Yeah, we'll stay here. All right, so I'm going to drop back into Matrix. And put me back into, yeah. Okay, that's weird. Next little item I want to cover for you is, oh, by the way, if anybody ever needs to take a break or if you have questions, unmute yourself and just let me know. I apologize, guys. We're here to answer your questions and things. So if you see something that you're not quite sure about, absolutely ask. Tell you what, let's say it's 9:57. Why don't we give it about 3 minutes, go on break for just a second? Um, I've got to re-water. I'm out of water. And this gives you guys a chance to de-coffee and re-coffee. But we'll get back in here in about 3 minutes. And again, if you have questions, you can always hit the chat mode and do that, or you can just unmute yourself and ask a question. But I'll be back in just about 3 minutes here. All right. So even if you're a minute or two late, it's okay. Remember, we got this recording, so it's no problem. Talk to you in a few minutes, guys. Thanks. Okay, guys, sorry about that. It took a moment or two longer than I thought it was going to take. Had to check and see what damage some of these other agents have been doing this morning. All right. So, what we're going to jump